but they are some next level stuff. I can't curse on this channel. Hey, welcome back. Today's video is going to be on my top 5 eyeshadow palettes. So this encompasses both high-end and drugstore, although I do only have one drugstore, but if you want all of my drugstore favorites, I'll be linking it in the eye above and in the description box below. So check it out if you want more drugstore options. So like I said, these are mostly high-end, but that does not mean that I discriminate against drugstore eyeshadow palettes. Any videos using any of these palettes will be linked in the eye above and in the description box below, so check it out if you want to see the palette in action. Also, yes, this is my new setup. I hope you like it much better. I like it a lot better. I'm still looking for what to decorate. This wall, yes. I'm still looking for things to decorate this wall with, but I might add some more things to this wall. I don't really know yet. So I hope you enjoyed this new background. So what I look for in an eyeshadow palette is that I can complete a look from start to finish. So what I mean by complete look is that I can do everything from one palette. I don't have to go fishing for singles or for another palette, digging through other products. So I want everything to be right there in one palette. I also need a transition of depth. And what I mean by that is I need light transition shades, I need midtones, I need really rich, deep, pigmented, dark shades as well, so that I can create a completely full, blended out, beautiful gradient look. And obviously I'm looking for blendability, pigmentation, how it translates on the eye, no creasing and no fading throughout the day. I need eyeshadows to be extremely long wearing. I'm also okay with fallout as long as it fits my other criteria as well. What I also need from an eyeshadow palette is a good ratio of mattes to shimmers. I cannot do with a mostly shimmer palette. That's just me personally. I like a lot more mattes than I do like a lot of shimmer. I feel like that increases the versatility of the palette for me, so that is just personally what I like in my eyeshadow palettes. Any of the products talked about in this video will be linked down below, as well as the makeup tutorial on this look. It will be up soon, I think, and if it is, I will link it down below, so check it out if you want to see how I got to this look. Before I begin, make sure to subscribe to this channel, like and comment on this video, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so you won't miss any of my uploads. So if you want to see my top 5 eyeshadow palettes, then just keep on watching. So the first palette I'll be talking about today is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. So I have a full in-depth review with swatches, with a tutorial, everything of the like, and I will link it in the eye above and in the description box below. So if you want a very in-depth review on this palette, I will link it. So this palette retails for $42 for 14 shades. So if you can't already tell, the color selection in this eyeshadow palette is extremely unique. I think it has a very nice mix of cool tones and warm tones, so much so that it makes it a very balanced palette. So with this palette, you can go so many directions because of the nature of the palette itself and the unique color selection. So the shades really blend themselves. They're very buttery, smooth, typical of an ABH eyeshadow palette. They are just really luxe feeling on the eye. So the one tricky thing with this palette are the shimmers, actually. The shimmers in this palette are kind of strange in that they feel like they're wet in the pan almost, and it's kind of strange if you've never encountered it before, but if you use your finger, they are high intensity, high pigment, right on the eye. This brush, don't throw it out. Do not throw this brush out, because the flat side of the brush is actually the best brush I've found to pick up these shimmer shades and apply it to the eye. This neon yellow right here can be a bit chalky, but this is the smoothest, butteriest neon shade that I have ever used. Now this is limited edition, but it's still in stores for some reason. This was supposed to be a holiday palette, but it's still in the stores, so I think it's okay to talk about this. But once it's completely gone, I will not be mentioning this on my channel because I don't want to mention any products that you guys can't get. The next palette is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour Quad, and this is in Plum. Kat Von D shadows are really next level blendable. I don't know what is in these, but they are some next level stuff. I can't curse on this channel. My main issue with this is I don't know if this is discontinued. It's on Sephora's site right now, only one shade, and it's on sale. So I don't really know if Kat Von D is discontinuing this, which I'm going to cry. These are so good. I wanted more shades, and I actually did find this at TJ Maxx for like half off. So that makes me think that they're getting discontinued. But if you find this in a TJ Maxx somewhere, in a Marshalls, anything like that, pick this up. Oh my god, these are some next level shades. So these actually have a ton of fallout. So does the Anastasia one, by the way. It has a decent amount of fallout. I believe this one has more fallout than the ABH palette. They're so rich in pigment and they blend themselves that fallout really doesn't matter, because they're just that amazing that you can look past the fallout. Also, I would like to add that this has the best purple I have ever used. Now it is a very pink-based warm tone purple, but purples are so hard to formulate, and this is the best purple that I have ever used on my eye. It blends like a dream, very smooth, buttery, rich in pigment, everything that you would want from a regular matte shadow. This originally retailed for $22 for 4 shades. So you can see here that I get the transition of depth that I like. Even though it's only a quad, I still get exactly what I wanted. This is an all matte palette, which again I said that I prefer, and it's just a beautiful purple quad. I love this polygonal, I don't know, type of packaging. It's quite bulky, but it's just so pleasing to the eye. Now these two I will count as one because they need to be counted, okay? They're just, oh, these are the best eyeshadow palettes that the Drugstore has to offer, hands down. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon palettes. They don't have any other name except that. So this is Rosé in the Air, and this is Not a Basic Peach. Both of these have the same formula for me, and they are so good that I'm kind of speechless at the Drugstore. Wet n Wild is also the cheapest brand. These retail for $4.99 for 10 shades, which is insane. Again, you can see that I have that transition of depth, lots of midtones, lots of lighter transition shades. You can actually see there's 2 transition shades in here. Lots of colors that are very rich and deep, and I'm just so attracted to these palettes just by looking at them. And Rosé in the Air is supposed to be a dead ringer for the modern renaissance, which I don't own and I don't plan to own, especially after owning this one. So these are very soft shadows, so again, you get a lot of fallout. These are very fantastic, trendy color selections right now. These colors are very, very in, and I do think they have a few more colors that I didn't pick up because these are the ones that just spoke to me. So these palettes are very compact and slim, so they're very easy to travel with. And I do have to say that the mattes are very smooth. The shimmers are extremely metallic on the eye. You don't even need to wet your brush with this. You really could if you wanted to take it to that next level, but these are just perfect the way they are. I did a whole makeup tutorial with these 2 palettes actually, and I'll be linking it in the eye above and in the description box below, so check it out if you want to see these palettes in action. So this palette is the most obscure of the bunch. I don't see a lot of people talking about this one specifically, but this is the Lorac Unzipped Desert Sunset palette. Now this retails for $42 for 10 shades, and you can see that the color selection is very, very trendy right now. They have a ton of warm tones, but in that like sunset, rustic, leaning more towards the cranberries and the purples rather than just straight oranges. So I really enjoy the uniqueness that they took with that approach to the warm eyeshadow trend. So these actually swatch really bad. They swatch terrible, and they swatch very powdery, and they kind of rub away. They blend away into nothing when you swatch them. So these translate very well on the eye. They pack a really big punch, and they blend seamlessly into one another. This palette has a few less mattes than I would like, but I'm willing to look past that because of the shades and the selection I really, really love. So I did do a first impressions on this palette, which I will be linking in the eye above and in the description box down below, so check it out if you want to see this palette being used. So some of these shimmer shades are very metallic and some of them are kind of softer shimmers, if you know what I mean. They're not meant to pack a really big punch, but they do have a nice mix of those two if that's what you're into. And the packaging is extremely skinny, as you can see. Very, very compact, easy to store, easy to travel with, and it's very, very bendy too, so it kind of just has a little give to it so you don't just crack it right in half. So this is the last palette, and this is the big mama, holy cow. This is the Tartist Pro Amazonian Clay palette. So this retails for $53 for 16 shades, and oh my god, this is the best, most luxurious packaging of the bunch. This just feels expensive. It has a really nice weight to it. You can see the back has this mirrored gold, and it's absolutely stunning. The front is this soft matte type of packaging, and it just looks expensive, okay? So the first thing you'll notice when you open this up is the scent of chocolate. It smells like MAC lipsticks, if you know what I mean. It's like that really light candy chocolate scent, and I love it. I can OD on this. I really, really could. So the shadows are obviously very buttery smooth. You can see I get my nice ratio of matte to shimmer. Something that's unique to this palette is that each row is a color story. So they have the same undertones. They'll all fit together into a look really beautifully. And that's what I really like about this palette, is that you get 4 different color stories in one palette essentially. Rather than all being warm tone or all being cool tone, you get a really nice mix. So this I could see actually being someone's life palette, something that you would use for every occasion. And you can see that transition of depth is really, really visible here. This shade right here called Trendy is a very unique duochrome blue-brown shade. So I think that makes the palette really stand out amongst its peers. The shimmers are also corresponding to the row of mattes, so they go very, very well together. This is a basically beginner's palette. No, you can't really mess this up. The shimmers in this palette especially are extremely metallic. These are not soft shimmers, these are metallic. So that wraps up my video, guys, on my top 5 eyeshadow palettes. Every single product talked about in this video will be linked down below, as well as the link to this makeup tutorial as soon as it's up will also be linked down below. And while you're down there, make sure to subscribe to this channel, like and comment on this video, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so you won't miss any of my uploads. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks so much for watching. Bye!